beer and a shot with the Butcher. Straight sports talk from a bar in New Jersey. This way, there ain't no bullshit.
It's the Knicks motherfucking Talk Trio with the Butcher, JC, and Scotty motherfucking BSide coming to you live from Pat's Bar, 390 Howard Boulevard in the woods.
If there's one thing I've learned this offseason, whether it's a beer and a shot or just playing ball, it's certainly a lot better when you're in a trio with a couple of your boys.
Derrick Rose would agree.
I just said, don't say it, Scotty B.
He did, but I gotta go for it anyway.
Three
just
shots
like
to win.
Derrick Rose.
We're gonna get into that later, like Derrick Rose.
Don't forget his buddies.
Derrick Rose, one of 3 new starters. I think we spoke with the fences a little bit.
It was consensual.
We didn't sell ourselves out completely, but we did go for it this offseason. 3 new starters, 2 new starters returning. Let's go through this Knicks starting lineup right here at the beginning of the second season of Knicks Talk Trio. Let's start with the captain of our team. If not a C on his jersey, certainly some kind of C. Melo, if he has a C.
I thought you were talking about me, the captain of the trio.
No, I'm talking about our you are our perennial all-star, much like
We
Melo.
formed like Voltron, you happen to be the head.
I saw tough play from Melo last year. I saw more assists. I saw rebounds and putbacks. I saw him look downright stout down low. If I get more of the same from Melo, I think that's what his job is this year. What do you think, BSide, about last year?
Last year, I wanted to see him average those 4 assists a game on top of playing D. We all know he can score, and he did it. I was very happy about that. Now I want to see him hit 5. It's 1.25 a quarter. You can do it, Melo, even with your point guard top.
You know, I think that's possible. There are certainly more offensive options on this team than with last year's team. If he's as readily passing the ball as he was to Porzingis with some of his new teammates, I think he's going to have a great year passing the ball.
Yeah, I think so. He should have a better chance to pass it, more opportunities for assists when people were putting the ball in the hoop, right?
He may see less minutes also.
What I like to see him do is run, get to your spot, shoot the open 3.
Not with those Patrick Ewing knees.
Well, you know, I think with a deep team and some guys that have some ceiling on the bench, running these starters more and rotating players in more often may be what you see to keep fresh legs on the court, especially in the regular season. Let's get into one of our new starters. Let's go to Courtney Lee right off the bat. You know, as far as I'm concerned, this guy knows what he is. It is his job to fill in the cracks. Courtney Lee, please pause for another joke. Courtney Lee, really though, I mean, here's your job, son. Defend your position and make the fucking shot when it's open and it's passed to you, right? I don't need him creating offense.
Here's my thing with Courtney Lee. Every year from Shumpert to follow to Courtney Lee, we have this great wing perimeter defender. I feel like it's another sale. I want to see this translate. I want to see it translate. Do I believe it can? Yes. Do I want to see it? Yes.
I just need him to defend one wing readily, substantially, well enough. It's atypical to have 2 really good scoring wings on a team. And let's face it, when Melo's at the 3, he hasn't been that deficient on defense. Even in the 4, he hasn't gotten bullied.
No, he gets beat off the dribble a little bit when he's outside, but he usually recovers okay with that new awesome block move that he has. But he
also has a great weak side defender behind him.
Very true. With Courtney Lee, we're looking for that spot up shooter that we just haven't had. And when's the last time we had a really good spot up shooter who had that what's his name?
Novak.
Yeah, the discount double check.
Way back.
Who we traded for freaking
Who
Barnyard.
literally did not have one other basketball skill.
And who played no other minutes
He
anywhere
was
else.
Steve Kerr. He was Steve Kerr.
Dude, he was built to play on the boardwalk. You know what I'm saying?
He was built to play in the triangle.
If you need a large teddy bear, Steve Novak's your dude.
He was built to play in the triangle. We gave him up for nothing.
He can't pass. He was not built for the triangles.
All right, he was built to catch and shoot. He was Steve Kerr.
But the point I'm making is that
Steve Kerr,
point
much,
I'm making,
much
though,
more better all-around player.
is that we were hoping that Aaron Aflalo was going to be a guy that could catch and shoot.
Right.
And it turned out he'd catch it, bounce,
He was a mini Melo.
Move.
You know,
He was ISO
and I'm going to
Aflalo.
defend him. You know, without many options, Aflalo was asked to do a lot more in a lot of games than he ever should have been.
But the one thing we wanted him to do, he couldn't do, which is spot up and shoot.
I agree. He was a
posted up.
bad fit, and the guy we got, by all accounts, is the exact fit we needed. We're
had-
not going to get into age and injuries when we talk about these five starters.
I mean,
by
in
the way.
terms of the Knicks, we had the same problem
but,
going back.
on the
We had the
side.
same problem with
A little
Crawford, you know, who couldn't spot up shoot. You know,
Yeah, but this guy can defend his
if
position.
That's what I'm saying. It's good. We finally have a guy who can catch the ball and fucking shoot
But
it.
this
we're-
guy is not a combo guard. He's a true two.
Right. He can
If
catch
we're
the ball
gonna-
and fucking shoot.
If we're gonna put injuries aside, like completely aside,
Completely, but I mean,
let's do that for a second.
Yeah.
Hornacek's gonna start Jennings and Rose together. He's a
You think
two.
he's going to start him, or they're going to get the line share?
Injuries
for the minutes
aside.
together.
Injuries aside. Those two are gonna start
So
together.
you're saying you're saying that Courtney Lee is
That's
not
your
going to
call.
start at the two?
That's
It's
listen.
on the
ins-
record,
No,
by the way.
I want to make sure I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You believe the starting five that get introduced will be Jennings.
No. As the season progresses,
You think he'll win that starting job?
Hornacek was in Phoenix. He won with 2 starting point guards. Now, here's a problem with doing that. We don't have
Wait,
a backup. We
what
don't
are
have a
you
backup
saying?
point guard.
What are you saying?
Except for Randall, which I'm glad we got.
You believe that we're going to start 2 point guards or not?
I believe Hornacek would love to start 2 point guards.
Okay, but you believe Lee will be the starter at the 2?
I do at the beginning of the
Because
season.
that's the
right.
way I understood it. You know. Could you move it along here? Courtney Lee was brought in to be the starting 2, and Brandon Jennings brought in to be the backup 1, but I digress. Let's go to another new addition. A guy I know I'm very excited about. A guy that Scotty B, you've been pining for, asking for years. And Joakim Noah,
Yay!
bringing what every Knicks fan likes: defense. He's an agitator. He's an inspirer. And I think he helps Rose feel comfortable in his new home. Joakim Noah, by all accounts, from our dude Porzingis, looks great in workouts. Was an upper body injury, not a lower body injury. Gives me a lot of hope for him seeing a lot of game time this year. What do you think, JC?
Well, there's nothing that a Knicks fan loves more than a big, tall center sitting on the bench with ice packs on.
John's got us there. I love the lunch pail, hard hat, and the first player in the league in the playoffs that you really saw tell LeBron James to go fuck himself. Because if you're going to look for a winner, you're going through LeBron James. If you think you're going to be a winner, and this kid is not afraid of telling LeBron James to go fuck himself.
Well, I don't know how wise it is to tell the best basketball player who ever lived to go fuck himself.
It's more wise than sucking his dick.
But I agree, it's always better to tell someone to go fuck themselves
Ask JR
than
that
to
question.
suck their dick. Let's get on to what was really, really, really the high point of all last season, from Genesis to Armageddon, and that is my man, crisp blocks, Chris Stops, Porzingis, putting it in from near and far.
The man who jumps higher than Blake Griffin and is more agile than Boston's Isaiah Thomas. The guy who ESPN just reported that he was as a matter of fact, he went to the Sports Science Center and he did the agility drill, cone drill, in 2.37 seconds, which is just 0.04 seconds slower than Boston Celtics point guard and all-star Isaiah Thomas, who had 2.33. And as a matter of fact,
I'm 2.33 longer when he's on the court.
his measurements, his wings, he wasn't at the combine.
My
so we don't know all
measurements
this
increase
stuff.
when he plays.
But his wingspan measured 7'3"
Also Patrick
0.75.
Ewing. Also Patrick Ewing.
And his vertical leap was 2 inches higher than Blake Griffin's max vertical leap. That's not top touching. That's ground to foot.
And why don't we want him inside more? For those high percentage shots?
We want him to run the floor more.
We want him to run the floor.
Here's the good news, bad news.
Stop dogging it up the court.
Here's the good news, bad news. We want him to continue on this arc of improvement, okay?
Yes, we do.
But we've got a team that we can't just dedicate necessarily, although I believe we should, minutes and shots to Porzingis. There's going to be other people worthy of minutes and shots, which we didn't have last year. Could that possibly stunt his growth stats-wise? But the good news is, he does all the stuff that's not on the stat sheet. I don't think it hurts the Knicks at a team. Is it a sophomore slump if his scoring averages dip a little bit on a team that has 3 legitimate scores?
I think that hurts us incredibly.
I do too, by the way.
Because if you look at our starting five, let's say Noah and Courtney Lee, we can't rely on them for scoring.
No, but we've got a big three.
We got a big three. So let's suppose that Melo's getting a little older. Derrick Rose, we don't know about the injuries. This is Porzingis' year.
Oh, I don't know that this is his year, but
he has to be a scorer.
Can you put too much pressure on somebody who had a sublime rookie season? If he takes a small step back, is that really a comment on his future?
I don't think so.
It's not, but we need him to score.
I
agree.
Score, yeah.
And he is one of our big three.
Right.
Scoring,
I think if he posts the same numbers he did last year, but his team is elevated because the players around him are better. We want to build. Ultimately, we want to build a franchise that wins year in and year out, that has some stability. So he's got to learn how to be successful on a winning team and not just be a high volume.
Right, he's got to be able to get his points when he's not being force fed. The thing I worry about,
be successful when he's not scoring points.
The thing I worry about, and I'm already hearing is it seems every coach he has, no matter what year it is, no matter how far we've come, is going to be seduced by his height and force it into him on the block. We're already hearing how they're going to use him more in the post.
I don't believe that. He does need to see that ball down low. I'm not saying every possession, but the guy's 7 fucking feet.
Yeah, and why not keep the defense honest for when he does want to face up or when he does want to pull up?
You're stupid for not utilizing that height. Do we want to take away his jumper? No. But when you go inside, you're increasing rebounds.
That's true. And we want well-rounded players who can take advantage of a mismatch wherever they are.
Right.
I mean, when he has a smaller, more tenacious defender on him, we want him to take that guy.
What are we getting? What are we getting from high percentage shots besides high percentage shots?
Right.
You're getting more rebounds. You're getting the defense doubling for more kickouts. You're getting more attempts at the free throw line. I'm not saying the guy should give up the shot, but we do want him to edge in a little more around the block.
I think when you need him to spread the floor with the lineup, he'll spread the floor. When you need him down low, he'll be down low. One thing I did see from Porzingis, no matter what asked, never looked like he forced his game. Can't remember thinking a lot of bad shots. Can remember thinking he's in a funk, but not that he had a lot of bad shots. Wrap it up on Porzingis, guys.
I can remember thinking he wasn't aggressive enough. So that's not a bad thing. The kid's going to be more comfortable next year, sophomore slump aside.
For me, we're looking at a guy who we want ultimately to be our 5, right? So this is a year where we want him to develop to be a tremendous. He's got to learn how to be better in the elbow.
He's going to have minutes at the 5.
I think what we know is that teams play large and small.
But we want him to be a guy that can make an impact, in a variety of ways.
When he is a 5 in a small lineup, he needs to be a 5.
I don't care if he's 5 or 4, whatever number you want to use. When Porzingis is playing, he needs to be learning to play at the elbow. He's got to be able to distribute and make the system work, and that's why your boy Noah is here with us today to teach him how to be on the elbow better.
And teach him how to tell LeBron to go fuck himself.
Well, that would help too. But remember, he is the guy who nosed up. Was it Jimmy Butler? Who did he nose up with last year for almost a scrum? He's not afraid of players. But he's got to be able to operate more in the elbow like Dirk Nowitzki was able to do. Post-ups, passes, backcourt passes. If he's in the elbow and he can do post-up, he can jump, he can pop out for shots, he can operate.
I think anytime you expand your game, it opens up the short parts of your game even more. Distribution and sharing is going to be a key to these starting 5, and the biggest key to that is going to be our guy, Derrick. To quote Scotty B, bros before hoes rose. You already dropped that one. I figured I'd drop it again. It's all love to you. Nicknames.
Who's got a nickname? I don't have any nicknames. I know you two gentlemen have nicknames.
Well, Butcher just stole mine. Derrick Bros before hoes.
Possibly the greatest nickname ever dropped.
It could be.
Derrick Rose, I know, when he came into the league, only 1 year of college. Where did he go? He went to where? After You? Was that the name of his college? Derrick Rose, as much as he could put us over the top, give us a second perennial All-Star in the lineup, I don't think he's the key to this Knicks team. I think it's really a race. Whether him or Jennings dusts it off, either way, we're going to have a point guard that the other defense has to react to, has to defend, and I think they have similar games. So to me, it's, it doesn't matter as long as my boys are there.
They both got 1 year on it, and as Scotty B said, expectations are not that high for us this year. And that being said, next year's draft is predicted to be a very, very high level talent guard draft.
I mean, if the two of
and
them
we have first round pick.
Do we have a draft pick next year?
We have all our draft picks going forward.
Next
we
year.
Have 2 second-round picks next year.
We have made it through the fall.
Plus our own second-round pick.
Absolutely.
By the way, I love that we picked Randall up. My only regret with this offseason was not having another reliable point guard, by the way. I love that we picked up Randall. The kid had a great summer league for us in a couple games he did play.
You're jumping ahead 2 spots on the point guard totem pole.
My fault.
Let's finish up with Derrick Rose, and then we'll get into the bench, and then we'll get into the break glass in case of emergency guys like Randall. Derrick Rose as a starter, this seems like a team that's really built for him. I mean, you've got 3 shooters from the outside. You know, Melo, Lee, and Porzingis can all do it. Noah's there to do the dirty work. Has played with him before.
Fuck you, LeBron.
You know, Rose was really coming on last year.
Yeah.
They say he looks totally healthy in practice. They say he looks great when they're running. He's been running 5-on-5, which is great because he was running 3-on-1 all summer. So I think it's good that he's gotten back to running 5-on-5s instead of 3-on-1.
Now, is Derrick Rose going to be here when the season starts?
I don't.
These are serious
They
allegations.
said he's so healthy that he only requires one friend to fuck his girlfriend right now. I'm stepping on my punchlines.
That was awesome, dude.
They say he's down to having one guy help him in bed. That's a good shot.
think
No, really,
they'll be,
though. They say the lift is there. They say he looks explosive in these scrimmages.
What do they say on the court?
The one big thing we have a problem with Rose and Jennings, and I'm not trying to take away the last, but I'm going to bring it back.
No, but
is that those 2 guys statistically are very, very high rate. They're what we need in terms of penetrators.
Yes.
I'm sorry. And they penetrate to the hole.
You just can't get away from it.
But the problem they don't do is,
on
the court is they're both very low percentage penetrators and dishing. So hopefully Derrick Rose's personal life translates onto the court. He starts to penetrate and dish a little more.
Yes, you know, if he would share and penetrate,
just like he does in his social life.
But in all
really be good.
But in all reality, those two, both Jennings and Rose, are very low percentage drive and dish guys. They're drive and score guys. They're not drive and assist guys. So hopefully they can turn that up a little bit.
You know, so let's
that would be very important.
Right over the Jennings, you know, and in my mind, he's not the first guy off the bench. I think Lance Thomas is, just because of what he brings. And usually you want some great off the bench, but he could be when we need scoring.
I'm going to cut you off. He's going to be the first guy off the bench because we're going to need to give more rest to Rose.
I think it depends whether you're looking for scoring or defense with your first guy off the bench, and that'll come down to a game situation.
We're not looking for anything, but holy shit, I only have 2 point guards. I mean, we've got one option when Rose comes off the bench, besides Randall, and you can't hang your coat on a rookie. You can't hang your hat on.
We got the kid from Wichita. You know, listen.
I'm sorry, your boy Sasha Vujacic can man the point.
Listen. We're a triangle away from him ever seeing the point again. I think
he'll be there.
Not with those 2 guys.
They'll be there.
If Rose and Jennings are healthy, there's not enough minutes for both of them.
They're not going to be.
So if one of them can maintain starters minutes, I don't really see. I feel like we have depth at point guard this year.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I feel like we have depth at point guard, and that's
statement.
what they ensured.
We have Rose and Jennings, who we've no idea what's going on with their knees. We don't.
Well, we have an idea.
Well, Jennings is Achilles, it's not his knee.
I'm sorry, Achilles. They could both be out half the season. What then?
Well, Jennings
No. First of all, we're not going to play the what-if game. We're going to get into they're both healthy and ready to play, right, as of now.
And they had very good second half.
And until I see different, I'm not going to get into
Every
year. They were both coming on at the end of last year.
Every year, we're always ready to go and healthy. These guys look great. They move laterally, and I'll believe this shit when I see it.
I'm going with what I know. These guys both, you know, Derrick Rose, with all of his injuries, tries to get on the court. He's still a young guy. They say he looked great. He played 70 games last year. I think Jennings, who prior to this injury always made it on the court. I'm just saying, if you don't think, you know, we have depth compared to other teams at point guard, we certainly have 9 times the depth of point guard we had last year, where we didn't even have a guy who could be the 3rd point guard on another team. So right now we have 2 guys that can start on a lot of teams in the NBA.
I got you if they're healthy.
If. Listen, Debbie Downer.
That's the year. This is the year. But we're
This
always
is going to be the year of ifs. Anytime
we're
I can
always
go for
stuck.
it.
When is the
and
last
bring
year we
veteran
didn't have
players
ifs?
Here is the best thing about these ifs. Both those ifs are on a 1 year. Don't get hurt.
No ifs, ands,
Or get her early and let's get to use our draft pick.
Well, I think Derrick Rose and Jennings can pace each other and, maybe just swap back and forth for a while. I know
Rose loves to swap back and forth.
Listen, there's no doubt that there's a lot of potential here. The problem is there's a lot of question marks in terms of if that potential will come together. It's a new team. There's a lot of new players now. Listen, there's a lot of new players in this team, but that's league-wide right now. A lot of guys for the past 2 years.
A lot of movement in this league.
2 years
It's
going forward.
special.
Everybody is signing 2-year deals now. This is a new thing for the NBA. The past 2 years and 2 years going forward, it's going to be a lot of 2-year deals. So it's really cool. And you actually had talked about this, Scotty B. And Phil Jackson wanted to get some more stability. So I wasn't happy about that long-term contract for Noah and some of these other guys, but at least we get some continuity going forward.
What's done is done. Let's move to the bench. When you look at the bench, you can divide the bench up into two types of players. You have rotation players, and you have players that are there for an emergency, your third stringers, in some cases.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have that first part. We mostly just have the...
Well, we certainly have a backup at the point guard position.
Yes.
We have Lance Thomas coming off the bench, certainly at the 3.
We don't know if he's healthy either, man. He missed a lot of games last year, and I haven't heard anything about him in terms
This
of
is the
workouts.
NBA. Any one of these guys can walk out on the court and hurt
But
themselves.
this is a guy who hasn't done much before last year.
No, and certainly athleticism was a big part of his game, so you do worry. But I'm going to go with, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. I can only go with what the injury report says. Now, Lance Thomas,
What's the injury report on him? Did you heard something?
He's going to be ready for preseason.
I haven't heard a lot of positive things.
When we signed him, they said he would be ready for the preseason.
I've heard nothing.
And if anything I know about that guy, who only shot 3 3-pointers in his entire college career, is that he's willing to work.
Well,
I don't doubt Lance Thomas's heart, and that's usually the main thing when it comes down to these injuries. He's a sturdy kid. I don't worry about it.
So we got Brennan Jennings, we got Lance Thomas on the bench, and then the rest of these guys are total unknowns.
Well,
they're not unknowns, but they're all...
Let's back it up a minute. Let's back it up a minute and take a look at it. How many guys do you really expect a good team to have in rotation?
9.
9, I think, is in the middle. Some teams have 10, some teams have 8.
I think today's NBA, you got to have 10.
Let's say 9 to make it easier, but okay, if you believe 10. So we've got Lance Thomas and Jennings. We're at 7. What are the next 2 guys that you see getting minutes? Obviously, some big is going to get minutes. I mean, are we going to finally see Kyle O'Quinn realize himself? Or is Mason Plumlee, who certainly has a genealogy that shows that he could show up and be a big and do the little things and set screens and rebound? I think between those two and then, Big Willie from Spain, someone's going to step up and be that first big off the bench and be that 8th player.
So that's a nice setup. We have nice competition there.
Right, competition at that spot, and that's what you want, right?
That's very good. I think we have great competition for the big spots there. I'd love to see Kyle step it up and be a little more consistent. We'll see.
Kyle seems to have something going on in his personal life. He never seems to have his head in the game. He never does.
Well, he was out of shape in terms of the way they were trying to play. I mean, I don't know. Last year was a crazy year for them in terms of what they were supposed to do. The coaching changes. Hopefully, Hornacek is a better coach who can lay them all down with what they're supposed to do in their roles.
I think the biggest problem with Kyle O'Quinn is he was looked at as this rugged player, so they immediately assumed that he would perform down low, which defensively he performs okay down low.
When he was in Orlando, they moved him out to be a stretch forward, and he wasn't real great at it. So he's the kind of guy that they've been trying to shift him around.
I like him in the high post. I like him dishing from the high post. I like his moves out of the high post. I like him on the 12-foot jumper.
So I see him getting...
Do not plant him down low and expect to be able to do with him what you're going to do with Noah.
No, I think you should try to teach him how to be on the elbow, and whether you're having Kristaps play the elbow or you're having Noah be on the elbow, he's the guy who comes in and replaces the elbow. Because he can make that backdoor cutting pass.
So whether it be Big Willie from Spain, whether it be Marshall Plumlee, or whether it be O'Quinn, we think there's enough competition at the spot that we will have a good, serviceable backup big, which leaves really one more bench player that we got to wonder about.
You know what the problem with the serviceable backup big out of those 3 guys?
None of them can start if needed.
They can't.
No.
They can't.
Right. And that's the thing. Your backup should be able to start spot duty.
And our starting center averaged like 4 points last year, and
Now, I think
that's
at
where
that
Lou
point,
comes in.
Oh
by
no,
the
that's
way.
where you start to put it in, and you go with the small lineup. You
Sure.
know, when you're short bigs, then you're
They
going to see
are-
a lot of Porzingis at the
Knicks-
5.
Knicks
and in this
management-
NBA, that's
Knicks, I know you guys are in love with Zingis at the 5. Knicks
am not.
management, as myself, are
Wants to go big.
horrified at the thought of Porzingis at the 5. You don't want to bang this kid around.
Well, Phil can't resist having 2-7-4s out there.
Nowadays, who are you?
Yeah,
I'm not worried about him getting banged. Yeah, but who's going to hurt him?
If you
Who's
look
going to
at
bang
the-
him?
yeah,
Hakeem Olajuwon.
He's not playing.
Right, he's not playing anymore.
Who's
man.
going to bang him up? Think
I
about
know,
it.
you
Who's
guys
going to make
know
him
what I'm
pay?
saying. You
No,
know what
but
I'm
really,
saying, no.
who's going to make
It's a-
Porzingis pay?
It is a stretch
You know,
5
one
league.
fat ass on the Celtics.
It is a stretch 5
And
league.
we have
but
the
you
stretch
still,
5 man.
You still don't want to bang this kid. In the playoffs and
But
in big games,
literally, who's going to bang him?
it slows down in transition and it becomes a half-court game, and that's
that's when
when
he's
shit
at
starts
the
banging.
4. And that's when he's at the 4.
Yeah, until you need him at the 5. And it's
Right.
just banging around.
Right. Listen, I
Nobody
don't...
wants to bang this
the
kid
amount
around.
of time that you spend in
I'm
the
just
half
telling
court
you right
against
now.
the majority of teams in the NBA is not
Listen,
that much.
when our bench...
Until it slows down to a half-court set.
Listen, I got news for you. When the first center off the bench is already on the floor, when they pull Joakim Noah from that lineup, they will immediately slide Porzingis
To the 5,
and possibly
yeah.
Melo right up to the 4, right there to
Yes.
keep those two playing
Well,
together.
that depends on how our backcourt. A lot of this depends on the question mark. So if Jennings is doing amazing, then that's exactly what's going to happen. If Jennings isn't doing amazing, or Rose, and we need to keep only one guard on there, we have that backup option of not doing that, and then we have to have guys like possibly
mean, if you-
Mindauskas Kaminskas, who's
imagine
actually
this.
a badass player. And I
Imagine-
think you guys are going to be surprised with what you see.
I
with
am
Mindauskas
surprised
this year.
already. You know, I
I
think
mean, he played very, very well in the tournament this year in the Olympics. He is he's
Listen,
a high energy
Kuzminskis
guy. He
Kuzminskis
is-
surprised me. Another guy that we thought could be a typical lightweight outside shooting Euro, who in fact is just the opposite. Takes it to contact and finishes over
takes to the
contact.
hole, man.
I
He can shoot.
really like this kid, but it's back to the rookie thing. You can't hang your hat on this kid.
No. But any good team has,
But
has
he's been a
people from bottom
professional.
up.
Right.
You got to draft well and you got to buy well. Here's what
I
I want
do
you
like
guys to
him. I do
imagine.
like him.
This is what gets me excited, and we're going to kind of wrap it up for starters and bench. You've got our 5, and it's a formidable 5. Again, assuming the health is there.
Paper looks great.
What I see is Noah and Rose checking out first for an early breath. Porzingis sliding to the 5. Thomas coming in at the 3. Carmelo's sitting up to the 4. Thomas can defend the 4 a little bit if he needs to. And Jennings coming in at the guard. And this is a speed lineup. Not that Rose doesn't have speed, but the point is you're keeping the speed with Jennings. You're sliding Porzingis up to the 5. We've got that hybrid new NBA lineup.
And that fits very well with Hornacek.
We've got, fits well with Hornacek. That's that brand new hybrid NBA lineup that we need. Exciting things with Knicks. I think they can play ball however people want to play ball. We're going to come back to you. Second segment, sloppy segments in a bit. Sloppy seconds, sloppy segments, second segments. This is the Knicks Talk Trio. JC BSide. I'm the Butcher. We out.